But it keeps telling me I have no connection to the internet, but I have full connection. YouTube really sucks. They target you if you don't stay within their AI parameters. They don't like people talking about any kind of truths. It really takes a lot to break through that algorithm if you're going to talk about geopolitics or anything in a manner they don't approve of. But anyways, if you're just getting in here, I'm just feeding these two steers, and their butcher date is very soon. They're fixing to go in. I think next Wednesday they go in for butcher. This guy right here, the red with the white spots, he is a longhorn as best as I can tell. He's been dehorned by previous owners, but beautiful animal. And I think he's actually pretty fat for a longhorn. So longhorns will get their fat a little differently than like an Angus or something. Hello, homesteading hustle. You know, I don't really know for sure how old they are because I bought the one on the left there probably 5-6 months ago at auction, and he was already maybe 500 pounds, 600 pounds, in that range. But if I had to guess, he is somewhere under 2 years of age. And I bought the red one in the back over a year ago. And he was, I think, 400 pounds when I got him. And I'm going to guess he loves that dog, which is kind of sad that he's going to go to butcher whenever he's so fond of this dog. It's kind of a cute little relationship that they have. But anyways, I bought him over a year ago, and I'm guessing he was around a year old, so he's a little over 2. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like this. So our friends, the cows are running on my friend's property, and they've been out of town, so that dog's been, I guess, lonely and has spent a lot more time with the cattle, and I guess has bonded with this particular steer for whatever reason. And they live kind of off a highway here, and the other day I was at this intersection and I looked over and seen the steer was looking at something out by the road, and I looked down and it was her. So he was paying attention to her out by the road, which I thought was interesting. But, you know, as it goes, he didn't mean to hurt you. That's why. Clearly he loves that dog. I don't know why. That dog actually used to snip at him and bark at the steers a lot. Yeah. Look, now the dog's gonna go out by the highway. They do not like the dog going out there. Lucy, come on, get back in the yard. I don't know. Do you think that they look like they're fat enough? I'm sorry, this daggone highway traffic's so loud. But do you think that them steers right there look like they're ready to butcher? I think they are. You know, like I said, they're not Angus or anything like that. I think that red one is heavily dairy influenced, and the one on the right's a longhorn. And they fatten up differently than your typical beef breeds. A Angus will fatten up under the skin before he will in his muscle. So by the time these guys start showing sign of fat under their skin, that means they should be marbled up in their cuts. So, but anyways, I'm surprised they walked off and left their feed. There's still some feed. Let me show you what they're eating. That's cottonseed, a sweet feed with oats, cracked corn, and a soy pellet. And of course molasses because it's a sweet feed. And then rice bran. Rice bran makes really good feed for them. Hey, so we've done the Holstein before, and what I'll tell you about Holstein is do not be, what's the word I'm looking for? Do not be deterred from them, because some people will say, oh, all you're going to get's bone. All you're going to get is bone, and Holsteins don't butcher well, and you're going to get a bunch of negative people sometimes when you mention the Holstein to them, but don't get deterred away from them. The first steer that we ever raised on our homestead was phenomenal beef. It was delicious beef. In fact, people who, let me see if I can make this camera higher so the light quits freaking out. So in fact, people who know Holstein beef and have butchered it will kind of call them the Wagyu of American cattle, because they marble up very well. Now, your cuts won't look quite as filled out and perfectly shaped like an Angus or something like that, but they are delicious. Now, here's the flip side to that. Be careful when you get them from a dairy, because lots of times they won't give them the proper colostrum, and you'll have a sickly calf on your hands. Actually, I've got some Holsteins down here I'll go show you real quick. I think you already hit the like button, but if you haven't, please go hit that like button. I'd like to get a couple more people in here. This ain't going to be a long live stream. Here in about 5 to 8 minutes, I'm going to get off here and head back home. So I'll come down here and I'll show you some Holstein calves I've got. Well, so one of them I got at auction. I'm not sure if he's Holstein Angus cross, which lots of times you can get them crossed from the dairies, because Angus will throw smaller calves. So they'll cross them with beef lots of times. And it makes a more marketable calf if they're going to keep them. But one of them I have down here is actually an Angus Holstein cross. He's a solid black calf. And then the other one, I couldn't tell you if he's crossed or not, but I'm kind of thinking he's not. Let me get this camera turned around and I'll show you. So they're currently corralled up because I'm finishing those steers and I didn't want to be feeding these guys. But this was a bottle calf. This right here was somebody else's bottle calf, but I bought him at auction. And he's the one I don't know if he's 100% Holstein or if he's Angus crossed. I'm leaning towards 100%, but he's still looking pretty good. This guy is the Angus Holstein cross. And like I said, you can get the Angus Holstein crosses because they will cross them lots of times for small birth weight calves. This one here is going to be the future bull of my cow herd. He's probably just about ready to breed a Dexter cow or Dexter heifer that I have. He will be soon. But he's Limousine, Angus, Gelbvieh cross. Obviously, he's a little beefier than your Holsteins. The Holsteins aren't much to look at and compare. Like, these guys are probably real similar age. I mean, look at them. They don't look quite as ideal as that guy, but they're going to make really good beef. Hey, what are you doing? They're going to make you really good beef, trust me. I mean, the best beef I've ever had was from a Holstein. But this guy is going to make you a more marketable calf if you're going to sell at auction. Last time I was at an auction, he would bring probably $275 to $325 a pound. That's what they were bringing for beef calves like him. So, and these guys would have probably, you don't really see a lot of Holsteins sell at auction, so it's hard to say. But they might bring as little as 80 cents a pound. So lots of times you can get them very affordable. And if you're feeding out your own steer, this is going to be the smart way to go over paying $3 a pound for something like him. Which is why he is staying intact and he's going to be breeding. And these guys are going to be in the freezer. So there's your little information on Holsteins. Let's go back over here real quick and see if my steers are finishing their grains. We had a little more feed than we thought we would at this point. So we've been feeding them twice a day here the last few days. So the evening meal, they've kind of not quite been finishing while I'm down here. I'm not sure if you're subscribed to our channel or not, Homesteading Hustle, but I'm assuming you have some videos up. I'll go check you guys out. Get this turned around. What's the deal? You guys aren't so hungry when you're getting fed twice a day? So I've actually been trying to sell half of him. This guy, half of it's going to the landowners here. They're going to pay the butcher fee, and they'll probably get 200 pounds of meat or more off of a half of him. I'm really not sure what he weighs. But I'm going to keep the other half of him because, two completely different breeds, fed exactly the same pasture, same everything. I'm curious, which one's going to taste better, or is there really going to be much difference? But then one half of this guy's available, but I haven't had a lot of traction trying to sell him on Facebook. The way I figure it, by the time they pay the processor and pay me by the hanging weight, this guy is going to put about 175. He could weigh more than I think, but I'm thinking that's going to put about 175 pounds of meat in their freezer at about $7.50 a pound, which I think is a great deal considering lean beef is nearly $7 a pound, if not more, depending on where you're at. And this is not feedlot beef. Yes, he is eating grain rations, but he has access to this pasture. Yeah, you see a lot of ragweed, but trust me, there's a lot of grass down in there. Lots of grass. And those big weeds back there, right back there, that is what you call giant ragweed, and it is super high in protein and super good for them, and they love eating it. So you've got free range, pasture finished, grain finished beef, and you're getting every single cut of 175 pounds for about the cost of lean ground beef. Now that includes, you'll probably get about 12 ribeyes, and so on and so forth in there as well. You'll get a little bit of filet, some chuck roast and whatnot. But I'm really, and you get the benefit of he's not really that big of a steer. So lots of people's steers are going to be 1,400 pounds when they're finished. He's kind of a smaller framed animal. You know, he's going to be pushing 900 pounds, I think, when he gets to butcher. He could surprise me and be just a little bit bigger, but I don't think so. So what that means is their hanging weight isn't as high, their butcher fees aren't as high, and lots of people don't have room for a half of a 14 or 1,600 pound steer, but a 850, 900 pound steer is a little easier to put up in your freezer. But I think that Longhorns get a bad rap because of the Angus branding and all that. So I don't know. I really don't know why there's not a lot of interest, but I think he's going to make phenomenal beef. And you know what? I may just have to buy a new freezer and keep him. Guys, look at this. Look at these dogs, or this dog and this steer. I've never seen anything like this. That steer loves that dog. Well, we just won't have to tell her where he's going. I think she's got some roadkill that she went out by the road and got. You getting all of it? But the idea was to sell half this beef and pay my butchering fees. So that I think by the time I fed 2 steers, kept 2 halves, I was hoping to get my beef at about $2 a pound. Finished weight by the cut. Which for all the work that we put into these, you know, that would be a pretty good deal. But I think he's about ready. Well, I don't know if you're still in here, Homesteading Hustle, but I'm about to head off this live. And like I said, if you're going to get Holstein bottle calves, just make sure that you have electrolytes on hand. I would, despite them saying they've given them colostrum, I would buy a good quality colostrum and give them lots of colostrum as soon as you get them. As soon as you get them, I would get colostrum and hit them with some, because we've had about 50-50 success rate on the dairy bottle calves. We bought some at auction, which was a really bad idea, and then I bought some straight off the farm, and one of them was a Jersey Angus cross, and the other one was that Holstein Angus I showed you. Well, the Jersey just never could keep the parasites off. We did the colostrum when we got him. He was several months old and just kept getting anemic from parasites, and we were worming him with unbelievable amounts of wormer, and still he would bounce back for a short period of time and then he would get wormy again. And we ended up losing him in the middle of the winter. And just, I'm telling you, be very very on top of bottle calves, because things can go south very fast with them. But if you can go to auction, that other Holstein I showed you, if you can go to auction and get them when they're 300 pounds or so, he was probably 300 to 350 whenever I got him, and I got him for $300. So $100, I mean $1 a pound, $1.25 a pound, versus buying $100 in milk replacer and paying $150 to $250 for a bottle calf. The math just math's better to get them a little bit older where they're a little easier to take care of. But anyways, look at those steers and that dog. I just don't get it. But anyways, if you're in here and you're watching this video after it's live or while it's live, please hit the like button. And if you're into homesteading content, please subscribe. I'm going to sign off and get back to the house because Shayla's cooking me some dinner right now. Thanks for watching.